In other news now, a startling 1,000 foreign students in the US have had their visas cancelled since March. That's according to data compiled by the Associated Press, which examined various university documents and court records. Meanwhile, a huge reprieve for an Indian student in Madison. A federal judge has stopped Krish Isardasani from being deported, saying officials lacked legal grounds to have him removed. Isardasani was arrested in an altercation last year but was never charged. In other developments, foreign students have begun suing the Trump administration for revoking their visas. One of them, Indian student Chinmay Dure from Detroit, who has filed a lawsuit. His lawyer says Dure has no criminal record or charges against him. And in yet another lawsuit, a graduate student from the Ohio State University has also taken legal action. His lawyer, Rafael Urena, now joins us to talk about that case. Rafael, thanks very much for joining us here on Washington Watch. Rafael, can you explain what exactly happened with your client, Ahwar Sultan, who is a teaching assistant at Ohio State University?
About 2 weeks ago, Mr. Sultan received an email from Ohio State University informing him that his Civis portal was deleted and that the Ohio State University had received an email from the government stating that his status and visa was revoked.
And why do you think that happened?
Well, this is a clear case of the United States government and President Trump weaponizing immigration enforcement to punish protected political expression. Mr. Sultan exercised a fundamental American constitutional right to protest and now faces the threat of deportation as a result.
So he took part in a pro-Gaza protest, is that correct? Was he charged? What were the charges?
He did. He was arrested. All of the charges were dismissed and expunged from his record.
All right. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has repeatedly said that foreign students are here to study. He says a visa is not a privilege and a right, not for foreign students like Sultan to take part in political movements. Isn't the US government allowed to decide whom it wants in the country and what these visitors should do while they're here?
Well, it's within reason. Students here in the United States of America have a First Amendment protection to engage in political speech. It's part of the reason why we invite students from all around the world to come to the United States so they can engage in these discussions and engage in protests. It's fundamental to the experience that they're having here in the United States at our universities.
Do you worry that today it's about Gaza, tomorrow it might be about something else?
No, that's the whole reason for the First Amendment. So we can I misunderstood the question. Well, it is very much a concern that the government will start weaponizing all of this speech they find to be contrary to what they believe in. And we're going to be a more repressed society as a result.
Rafael, now the Trump administration is implementing a 1952 immigration law. A person can be categorized as inadmissible if he or she will have adverse foreign policy consequences, so to speak. Is that what you think happened with Sultan?
I think it's unclear what the government has used to effectuate the visa revocation. It's very clear that they have not provided notice as they should have, and the courts are agreeing with many students across the country that they did not effectuate the proper notice to the students to tell them exactly what's going on and give them an opportunity to respond.
How worried should students like your client Sultan should really be if they've taken part in these pro-Gaza rallies previously?
I think they should be concerned. The Trump administration is taking a heavy hand against them. I think they should seek representation and fight back in the courts, where many of them are winning.
All right. Just want your quick reaction on this one. Now, the Associated Press, as you heard me say earlier, 1,000 international students at 160 US colleges and universities have had their status revoked. Advocacy groups actually saying that that number could be 1,300. What are you hearing? Are you getting more calls? Are you seeing more clients on this front?
Yes, I'm receiving calls every day, every hour from scared students around the country. And I expect when the government starts to use AI and starts to really investigate people who are protesting, that those numbers will only grow.
Right. Just very quickly here, we do have time for one more question here. One Indian foreign student from the University of Wisconsin-Madison has got a reprieve this week. A judge said that he cannot be deported. He has never been charged with anything. We might see more decisions like this, but are you worried that the Trump administration may find other ways to still deport these students?
I am worried about that. The government always evolves. The Trump administration always evolves their tactics to conform with barriers or perceived barriers in trying to effectuate their agenda. So I think more heavy-handedness is to come.
Rafael, Urena, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on
Thanks for having
Washington
me.
Watch.